Welcome to Pearlmania500, the husband and wife lore dump podcast that has definitely been listened to by both the NSA, the FBI, and possibly the CIA. But for a fact, I know it has been listened to by both people who work on Capitol Hill, but also the White House.
And people that love enemas.
People who are obsessed with enemas. But that's not what this episode is going to be about today, right?
I can't make that promise.
There's a place where you can't stay when the world gets too insane. Yeah, when the world gets too inane, tune in to Pearlmania. Brony talks and pony jars and saying a sonic race just. Fitness scams and grifters, damn, and various other miscellaneous. So there's this place where you can stay to let those Pearlmans save ya. Pearlmania, Pearlmania, Pearlmania 500. Take it away, Pearlmans, and remember to smile.
Thank you so much. His name was Dusk. I have to say, honestly, at the end of that song, every single time he goes, remember to smile, both of us look at each other and smile in the creepiest manner possible.
Yeah, I give my old school waitressing smile.
Yeah.
The clope and brunch smile.
Yeah.
It's real dead behind the eyes.
Yeah, when
it
you
scares you every time.
When you closed last night and you have to open for brunch the next morning.
And there's a bunch of ladies with red hats on. Oh wait, that used to mean something different.
Yeah, Red Hat Society used to be it was never a good thing, but it wasn't an evil thing.
If you saw
oh my God.
bunch of ladies coming in red hats on a brunch, you were like, fuck me.
Yeah.
But now it's the same feeling.
It's
You're
a similar.
still not getting a tip.
I would say it's a similar feeling.
Yeah, it's true.
I feel like it's a similar.
I feel like there might be some crossover.
Oh,
in
there's
that Venn
definitely
diagram.
crossover, but they with the Red Hat Society back in the day, they weren't like screaming in their face. It was more of a passive aggressiveness.
Yeah, it was.
Now the Red Hat Society is trying to overthrow the Capitol.
Yeah, these ladies just wanted a lot of hot tea that was never hot enough, no matter what.
Speaking of overthrowing the Capitol, some people may have noticed from both our Instagrams and from the posts that we put on Patreon, I was in Washington, D.C. just a couple days ago.
Yeah, they invited you and then let you in.
They let me in.
I don't know why.
I'm still trying to figure it out myself. I went down to Washington, D.C. It was a whirlwind 24 hours. I went to the Capitol building where I met North Carolina Representative Jeff Jackson.
Yep.
You guys might know him from TikTok. He's the guy who calmly explains to you that it's bad, but we're trying to fix it.
Yep.
Very calmly. Got to talk to him for an extended period of time.
New best friends.
I passed Marjorie Taylor Greene in a hallway.
I can't imagine.
Everyone was like, why didn't you? I'm like, because after that, I was invited to go to the White House, and if I did anything towards Marjorie Taylor Greene, it would not have.
I know you're not supposed to say it out loud.
Yeah,
but
let's not.
But she's got skinwalker energy.
She does.
You don't even know what that means.
I don't.
But you might learn this month.
Oh,
because it's spooky month.
It's spooky month.
Yeah, I don't know. We don't have a name.
We don't have a name for it yet. We're working on it.
Workshopping the whole thing.
Yeah. Speaking of workshopping, I then did go to the White House.
Okay.
And when
back
I was
to you. Back to you.
Back to me. Do you not want to talk about me?
I want to talk about it.
No, it's fine.
No, it's fine.
No, we don't need to ever talk about it again. Let's.
So wait, no, you went to the White House.
No, you don't care. You
care.
obviously don't want the listeners to hear.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Listen, go ahead.
What?
Go ahead.
It's you have the whole month. I'm asking for 5 minutes.
Tell us about DC.
No. It's fine. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about the fact that I met the vice president's husband.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, the second gentleman, Doug Emhoff.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Handsome.
He's a guy. He's just like he's an older gentleman.
Was he nice?
Second gentleman.
Okay.
That's his title.
I know. They had to come up with that. We didn't
did.
have one before.
They were like, well, we knew to call them ladies, but once it's a man, what do you call them? Gentlemen.
Gross.
Yeah. He was nice.
Yeah.
I mean, he was, political. He was like, wow, I appreciate all of what all of you do. He
didn't
said.
know what you did.
No, I was like, I just yell at you, man. Like that's what I do. But yeah, it was very neat. And then I went to the White House to actually talk to their staff for a while. So it was cool. We were talking about digital strategies, communication, all those different fun things. And it was me and a bunch of including Angry Reactions.
Yep.
Astro Alexandra, who does NASA stuff.
Okay.
And a bunch of other creators and influencer
Kaylin
people.
was there.
Kaylin was there.
Yeah.
And he does a podcast with Ricky Lake. And
Yeah.
I was like, I do a podcast with my wife.
Who loves Ricky Lake because she saw Hairspray when she was young.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
What's
What?
the segue?
What do you mean?
I don't know.
Oh.
Hey, hon, let's meet our team leaders.
That's right. It is team leader meeting time. You told me we have to get through this quick. That's why you
I know.
cut off my Washington, D.C.
Oh
story,
my God.
triumph.
Okay.
But let's meet our team leaders. I do what, as mentioned on previous episodes. You might have listened to our two-parter on J. Edgar Hoover.
Mm-hmm.
We have 3 tiers now.
Yeah.
We've entered into a third tier.
Okay, yeah, I did
We have the
forget
$3
about that.
Hey Hun tier. We have the $5 team lead. Hey Hun is what it is. It gets you a shout out.
Yep.
Team lead.
Get to vote on stuff.
You get to vote on stuff. And we've now introduced the $30 Fed tier.
Yeah, the Fed tier.
If you're a Fed,
you're required by law to purchase the Fed tier to listen.
if you don't, you are lying to us, and anything that you hear us say on this podcast is
Inadmissible in court.
in court. Because if you're a Fed, if you're a cop, you got to tell us you're a cop.
Yeah, facts.
So that's $30 a month. It gets you exactly what a team lead gets you. It's like,
no.
what?
Hey, hun.
What?
They
It
don't
just
get
gets you a hey
voting?
hun?
I don't want the Feds voting.
I feel like they're paying more.
No,
Oh, you want me to remove voting as an option for them?
the Feds don't get to vote.
Wow. Okay. I'm going to remove it. I'll take it out. But anyway, thank you guys. We did reach the 500 on the goal, and
Yeah,
we have
we
it
did
posted.
it. Yeah.
We have it posted
Yeah,
now.
we got
So
plenty, and we could always use more suggestions. We're
Yep.
gonna close it, I think, at the end of Sunday night. Probably we'll close the poll, I think, because there's already over 100 suggestions.
it's already
for
over
us to go
100.
through.
Okay.
But if you have any last minute ideas for books for Alex to read for Mrs. P's book club,
Yeah. What we'll say here is we're going to close that poll on Wednesday. Not poll, the postings that we're going to accept nomination Wednesday, October 4th.
okay.
How about that?
That
That
sounds
way,
fine.
that way, the people hear this episode if they haven't already posted. I feel like most of our Patreons already have.
Yeah,
We've got a lot of responses from people on that
a
one.
lot of fun suggestions. in there.
And now we have some new Patreons that we have to introduce this week. Give them the Hey Hun shout outs.
Let's
You ready
go.
for it?
Yeah.
Did we have anybody who had names wrong on there?
No.
Okay, good. First up, we have Book Birdie.
Hey, hun.
After that, we have Elder Millennial Megan.
Hey, Megan. I get that feeling.
After that, we have Sleep When the Baby Sleeps, Clean When the Baby Cleans.
When does the baby clean?
Never.
We are not gonna not clean because the baby's not.
We're
cleaning.
learning. We're learning from our Patreons on how to become family vloggers.
We're not becoming family vloggers.
I love this next one, by the
Okay.
way. This next one, they definitely listened to the last episode, and they are part of the Fed tier. They actually paid. I'm noticing now. This is our first Fed tier. Holy shit. And their Patreon name is You Don't Need Friends When You Have a Top Tier Hag Like Miss Gandy.
Let's go.
That's fucking
Facts.
amazing.
Big
if,
facts.
If you didn't make it to the end of the J. Edgar Hoover episode, he had a long-term secretary that was clearly his hag.
Yeah.
Named Miss Gandy, who burned a lot of his paperwork.
That's what a
the
good Judy
days
do.
after. Yeah, she came in. She was basically his porn buddy.
Yeah.
She came in. She's like, I know where all the porn's kept. I'm gonna just burn it.
Go for it.
After that, we have allegedly a Mrs. P fan.
Hey, thanks. Hey, hun.
Okay, this next one, it's 3 letters.
Okay.
I'm gonna say it's just K.
Kuh.
K-U-H.
Love it.
All right. After that, we have Sunny Heller.
Hey, hun.
After that, we have They Are Danny.
Hey, hun.
After that, we have, okay.
have to
Apparently,
click
I
it.
got the last one. Somebody paid for one recently.
Okay, so here's what happened.
Okay.
You messed up last week.
Okay.
You said this person's name wrong.
Okay.
Now, they are a delivery driver. I don't know if that's UPS, postal service. I don't know, but they're out there driving.
Yeah.
They pulled over their car when you got it wrong.
Really?
They went and bought tacos to soothe their soul. They ate the tacos in their car or
Okay.
truck, whatever they were driving.
Okay.
And then they resubscribed and rewrote their name so you would get it right this time.
Okay. All right. So
delicious tacos.
So I have to
fueled
nail this.
this.
I
You
have to nail this.
Yeah,
I don't know how I got it wrong when I'm looking at their
name.
name.
Simone Biles this. You need to nail the landing. Okay.
Okay. Who was the girl in 1996 Olympics who Carrie Strug?
Yeah.
I want to do it on one foot.
Okay.
Like Carrie Strug. Like tiny, teeny, tiny Carrie Strug. Okay. Hit it, Fergie. Listen up, y'all, because this is it. Said _Rick _ Fred _ Rick _ son. It rhymes. Ferguson is the scary lady from Wentworth, A. I think they ran out of words.
Oh, no.
I think we're out of letters.
Like I do enjoy the fact that Fergie always be spelling.
Yeah.
Fergie will find a way to spell in every song.
Did I say Cedric Ferguson last time?
I don't know.
I might have just read it wrong. But because it's Cedric Fredrickson. That's such an easy name to say. I don't know how I got it wrong.
Well, I don't know.
Well, we learned together that I got it wrong. All of us. The thousands of Pearlmaniacs.
Fergie spelled a word that we don't even say anymore as a society, really.
Yeah.
She spelled it the fuck out.
Yeah, she did.
And then they had to change the whole song.
They changed the whole song to Started. Let's get it started.
In here.
And we were like, whoa.
I remember the original.
I remember when they sang Let's Get It Started at the 2004 Democratic National Convention. And me and my buddies were sitting around like fucked up. We were wasted. We're like, that's not the lyric.
She spelled it for us, and she didn't spell started last time.
Yeah. After, okay, so I apologize, Cedric Fredrickson. I apologize.
Good job.
Thank you so much for delivering whatever it is you deliver.
A good time.
I hope I get the next name right.
Okay.
Brian.
Brian with a Y.
It's just Brian. That's it. And lastly, we have Whitney Corkery.
Hey, Whitney Corkery. Hey, hon.
Hey,
Thanks to everyone for supporting us.
Our Hey Hans.
Hey, hon, let's meet our team leaders.
So,
yeah,
you told me we had to get through this intro quick.
I did.
I
said,
feel like we
listen,
did.
I got a lot to cover.
Yeah.
So as we talked about last week,
Yes.
this October, I am aiming for some spooky ookiness.
Yes.
Okay.
And we
Now,
don't have a name for the month
There's no
yet.
name. We're workshopping it. We're figuring it out as we go based on what's happening, right?
Okay.
So the first, this episode is going to be about a haunted hotel.
Okay.
Okay.
So with that,
Yeah.
there has been requests that we go back to using older names for some things.
All right.
So before we hear about this haunted hotel,
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna do a bump on this podcast, and when we come back, you're gonna haunt the hallways of this hotel. Hold on.
Pearlmania, 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 Pearlmania 500.
All right, Mrs. P, the floor is yours. Get it spooky.
Get it spooky. Okay, great.
Let's get it spooky in here. Let's
S-
get it spooky in
Spell
here.
spooky for us now, Fergie. Okay. Also, well, this is the whole thing. Is like, because again, I've just been like workshopping this idea of like what type of things I'm gonna look up this month.
Yeah.
And do research on. And okay, so I know many episodes ago I had brought up Gypsy Rose Blanchard. And and you were like, I don't want to hear that. And I was like, it is a really rough story. It's a rough story, but they just announced that Gypsy Rose Blanchard is being released from prison early in this December. They're going to let her out. And so I feel like maybe I need to do an episode on Gypsy Rose.
That's the girl whose mom did the Munchausens by proxy, and then did she pay a hitman to kill the mom?
I'm not going to tell you because
Okay.
I would tell you on the episode.
Yeah.
But I've been thinking, it's like, it is a horror story because of what her mother did.
Yeah.
So it would fit, because again, this is why Spooky October isn't just spooky. It's like all kinds of stuff in my head that are weird things
so
I want to
it's more
tell
like
you.
Fucktober.
So
Fucktober
anyway,
does kind
it
of
slaps.
yo Fucktober fucks, dude.
So anyway,
Yo!
today I want to tell you about
Okay.
the Crescent Hotel.
Okay, the Crescent Hotel.
The Crescent Hotel. So I want you to put in to the Google real quick the Crescent Hotel because I want you to see how beautiful and majestic this fucking building is. So the Crescent Hotel
In Arkansas?
Yep, it is in Eureka Springs, Arkansas.
Okay.
And hit images.
I'm hitting the images.
Okay,
I'm taking
there,
a look.
that top left there.
Oh shit.
Okay, this is a majestic fucking building. Gorgeous. It's got all the spooky ooks about it. And I know in our last episode, if you listen to the second part of our last episode, I might have gone off on a tangent about how I think we need to bring back travel agents.
Yeah.
This is me again being like, I want to go to here are all the reasons why this hotel looks like it's an awesome place to go.
Okay.
Because when I started doing research on haunted hotels, like I had known about this one and I was looking at images and I was like, yo, I want to go here. I don't care how many ghosts are in this place. It looks beautiful.
Is that pool still operational?
Yeah.
You can still go here?
Mm-hmm.
Yo.
It's beautiful. So as part of my travel agent research, he's in the spa website right now.
Yeah, I'm in booking.com. I'm taking a look at it.
So
This is not sponsored content. I'm just looking.
But I'm saying if they want to pay for me to come go to the spa there, I will. All right. And go on a hot spring tour. So anyway, okay, listen.
Yo, look, they even leaning into it.
Yeah.
They even have a spooky image.
They lean in hard to the spooky.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so it's in Eureka Springs, Arkansas. It is billed as America's most haunted hotel. Okay?
The most haunted.
It's the most haunted hotel.
Okay.
I mean, I guess it's according to their marketing. In 1886, the Crescent Hotel and Spa was officially part of the National Trust of Historic Preservation. So it is a historical landmark now.
Okay.
They can't do too many changes to it.
They have to keep it
somewhat. They do updates for sure. And
well, I saw on Booking that they have Wi-Fi.
Well, there you go.
So
we need the Wi-Fi because we need to go to there on a weekend and then record a podcast from there talking shit to the
could you
ghosts.
imagine?
I can imagine.
Oh no.
So the whole thing is this is located in the Ozarks. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So the healing waters of the Ozarks became really well known nationwide.
I love
it was
it.
a marketing thing.
Yeah.
It was like the water here is so clean, it will heal you.
It's also one of those things that's pretty common because the Poconos in Pennsylvania has a similar thing. There's a lot of mountain areas where going to the mountains was considered healing because especially during the industrial times, the smoke and the soot that were in the towns and cities, that they knew it was hurting people.
Yeah.
And they were like, I guess you're too weak for this. Go to the mountains, get the
Breathe
clean
some fresh air for a while.
Drink clean water that hasn't had shit dumped in it. And now we're just like, no, just keep going to work. Work in person.
Fun fact, people from the Philly area, when you think about how dense Philadelphia is, West Philadelphia was what they considered to be the Ozarks.
Yeah.
So like if you were living in downtown, like Old City, that area, and it was so industrialized that just going that couple miles
just the
to
other side
West
of
Philadelphia,
the other side of the other river.
Big houses that you see where now all the college kids live, those houses were bed and breakfast to heal because there was like more trees, and there's still more trees in West Philly than there are in other parts of Philly. But it's just interesting because it's like a 20-minute bike ride.
Yeah.
And you're just
but there
was
even further out. Like the further out you go for all these different places. And big part, like in England, a lot of people would go to Wales or they would go to northern England. They would just go to these places that was middle of nowhere, and they're like, well, what's healing about it? Like, there's no other people. People haven't ruined it.
Problem.
Yeah, like people haven't ruined it yet. So there's so much less. There's just less dead rats everywhere.
Yeah, well,
yeah,
that's what they're saying in New York right now. Less rats.
Less dead rats.
Flushed them.
They definitely finally dealt with the rat problem by drowning them all.
Okay, so people from near and far started coming to this part of the Ozarks to get the healing water and the fresh air, the whole thing, right? So, many travelers were just like, the whole idea was that we were going to come to this place, we're going to start feeling better and breathing. So there's this guy, Powell Clayton. Now, he is a former governor of Arkansas. He was the governor of Arkansas in 1868 to 1870, and he formed the Eureka Springs Improvement Company to take advantage of this, what he was feeling was a prosperous. That's how you say it.
Yep.
Period. Along with other investors, including the Frisco Railroad. That whole company, he and the railroad, was all part of this. So the whole plan was they're going to start building it out. They're going to have the railroad come through. They're going to start shipping in people to create this touristy zone, right? So Powell Clayton, here's the thing. As I was going through all of this, I started really looking up each person, okay? Because when it comes to spooky ooky ghost stories, sometimes we get glossed over. We get silly nicknames. We get, oh, this thing happened here. And it's like, I need a little bit more backstory personally.
Yeah.
So I looked up Powell Clayton,
Okay.
And here's what I found. Because again, this is the guy who's starting this all up.
He's basically founding Eureka Springs almost in general.
Yeah,
like the town as a destination.
So basically what happened was he was the governor of Arkansas.
Yeah.
After he retires from being the governor of Arkansas, or is he's deciding to get out of politics.
Yeah.
He still wants to be a part of the economy and live in Arkansas. So he goes to Eureka.
All Arkansas governors, famously, he then super gets into real estate, and it's never been a problem.
Okay.
So some people will get that joke, some people won't. The Clintons.
Okay. So Powell Clayton was born in Bethel Township, Pennsylvania.
Shut up.
Do you know where that is?
Yeah, it's not far.
Booth's Corner.
Yeah, we've been there.
born in
We
Booth's
recently
Corner.
have been to Booth's Corner. There is a farmer's market there.
Yeah.
I went there because I was looking for comic books.
Yeah.
And instead I got insanely depressed and I ended up buying some crab dip.
Oh, I got a delicious pickle.
You did.
What else did I eat? Oh, that chicken salad. I
Yeah.
had a great time.
No, but the funny
I
part...
ate my way through that place. I had a great
Listen,
time.
I know there's a lot to cover.
Yeah.
But you got to talk about this pickle real fast because you and I almost had a fight in the middle of a farmer's market because I was like, you want a pickle? And you're
Yeah.
like, nah, I don't want a pickle because you haven't had like really crazy pregnancy cravings.
No.
And I'm like, this is a fucking Amish pickle.
Yeah, it was in a giant barrel.
It's in a big barrel. It's just
There
floating
was
in
a
the thing.
Mennonite lady with a little bonnet on.
Yeah, and then she just grabs it with her
Yeah,
bare hand and puts it in the
bare-handed
bag.
that. I was like, this
and
is
she
gonna be
handed
the
it to you,
best
and you
pickle.
just walked around eating it like it was a braided pretzel.
It made me so
and
happy.
every bite, you're like, this is the best pickle. And I'm like, yeah. And I had to fight you about it.
Yeah.
It was like $1.75.
Yeah,
it was crazy.
so good. Okay, so the Clayton family was descended from early Quaker settlers in Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Clayton's ancestor, William Clayton, immigrated from Chichester, England, and was a personal friend of William Penn.
Okay.
And he was actually appointed as one of the 9 justices who sat in the Upland Court. I could do a whole episode about the Upland Court. Very interesting shit. I did go into a little rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Doesn't have enough to do with this.
That's fine.
Anyway.
So go back from Pennsylvania.
Powelton, he becomes the governor, like going back to his governorship
Yeah.
of Arkansas. He was the governor after the military rule was lifted because there was like a Civil War situation going on.
There's like a Civil War situation?
Yeah, there was like a thing going on.
So after Reconstruction.
After Reconstruction,
Yes.
he becomes the governor.
Yeah.
And is ratified by Congress after the new constitution. The Arkansas state constitution is ratified, right?
Yeah.
He was viewed as a carpetbagger by the people of Arkansas.
So what you're saying is he's not a slaver. Mm-mm. He is not a bag of shit.
No.
Well, I mean, he's still a bag of shit because he's a politician, but he's not what you would typically
you
put
better
in.
be nice. They're inviting you places, these politicians. You better stop saying they're bags of shit all the time.
Well, maybe if I could tell more stories about him on this podcast.
So, also, yeah, so they thought he was a carpetbagger.
Okay.
And which, when I looked up, like the term is like very much a northern person coming to the South as part of Reconstruction.
So one of the things with the carpetbagger, because I actually know this one,
Okay.
is they're back in the day, because you and I were looking at luggage the other day.
Yeah.
That one type of bag that you had that opens up, those used to actually have the outside were made out of carpet.
I know I
because it
had
was
one
thick.
for a long time.
Yeah. So, but those guys were so used to them traveling from the north to the south during the Reconstruction period, and they were automatically given jobs in government, especially elected positions, immediately because none of the locals, since they were all Confederates, were allowed to vote because they all had their right to vote taken away in between the Civil War and the end of Reconstruction.
Yeah.
So these dudes just roll down from the north. They're like, fuck it, I'll just be governor. So this guy's literally a carpetbagger.
So everybody, not everybody, but a lot of the locals
Yes.
don't like what they perceive to be carpetbaggers.
Yes.
Because they are perceived as exploiting the local population for a financial and political gain.
and outsiders.
Also, I found out that another term, I did not know this, but another term for carpetbagger was scallywag.
Oh.
So when they would call them a scallywag, it meant the same thing.
Yeah.
I just thought it was like a pirate term, but it actually means the same thing as carpetbagger. There was a lot of, after all this is happening with what happened after the Civil War, he actually implemented martial law in Arkansas for over 4 months because there was such a spike in Ku Klux Klan activity. Over 200 people were murdered and lynched. And there was all kinds of other types of violence against African Americans. So he actually imposed martial law. And during his tenure as governor, the Republican Party splintered because they were, they started breaking apart. And that's when the Democratic and Republican Party changed, right?
That was later.
But
that
still,
was much later. Yeah.
In Arkansas, this is part of it. So
Yeah.
they became two separate offshoots of the Republican Party. I can't imagine what that's like. A moderate and a psycho version.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's who Pal Clayton is. So he's
Okay.
just like, I just went into like a little hole of like, who is this guy? What do he do? Oh, he's from Delco.
Yeah.
He's a Quaker.
He's a Delco Quaker who goes to the
who
South.
fought the Klan.
Yeah, who fought the Klan.
With martial law.
And then he's like,
then he was like, listen, we got to make this Eureka Springs place nice. Call the railroad guys. Okay?
Okay.
So numerous stonemasons are brought in from Ireland to help to begin the construction in 1884 of the Crescent Hotel. Due to the density of the magnesium limestone used to build the hotel, special wagons were constructed to move massive pieces of stone from the quarry site. So it's actually built on limestone, the whole cliff that it's on, because it's over, the people can't see, but it's like on this like cliff edge, so you're overlooking the Ozarks. It's beautiful, but it's actually built on limestone, and then nearby was a quarry of more limestone, and that's what the building is built out of.
Gotcha.
Okay. So these massive pieces of stone are being moved, and the masons built 18-inch walls, several towers, overhanging balconies, and a massive stone fireplace in the lobby. It is a beautiful fireplace.
I saw the picture of the fireplace in here. Yeah.
So let's talk ghosts.
Yeah, let's talk ghosts.
The most often cited apparition, ghosty, is a red-haired Irish stonemason who the staff have named Michael. Allegedly, Michael was one of the original masons who worked on the hotel's building. However, while working, he lost his balance and fell off the roof and died. He fell to like the second floor area and, obviously didn't survive the fall. The area is now where room 218 is in the hotel. And so people that stay in room 218 are the ones that are reporting most having this like red-haired Irish guy bothering them.
And you want me to go to this place where people see a red-haired man and scream?
Michael is described as a really mischievous spirit who likes to play tricks with lights and doors and televisions and is often heard pounding loudly on the walls.
It's a hotel.
Yeah.
I just want to throw that out there.
Yeah.
All right. It's a hotel.
Uh-huh.
I was in 2 hotels this week. Mm-hmm. I heard some loud pounding in the walls.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't assume it was a dead Irishman.
Are you sure?
I assumed it was somebody next door getting fucking railed.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, there's a tickly ghost that runs around here. Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. All right. It's a dead Irishman.
So as construction continues for the next 2 years, more and more workers are hired.
And more of them die.
That it's true.
Oh, really? No. Because OSHA didn't exist back then.
There's no OSHA. They're Irish immigrants in the Ozarks.
Yeah.
There's not any type of oversight to make sure they're safe.
They're like, dude, we just lost the Civil War. All right? Go climb that roof and die, you Irish Mick.
So they start putting in electrical lights, more modern plumbing, steam heating, an elevator. Well,
Elevator?
I don't know what we're talking.
I'm just picturing it's 1886.
But this is a big deal.
Yeah, no, I'm not.
Okay, like this is huge.
I understand that. I'm
Yeah.
just saying that I'm picturing it's 1886, and they have an Irishman who is just fleeing the potato famine or whatever, everything that's happening over there. He's fleeing oppression, comes to America, gets told there's some jobs in the mountains.
Yep.
He goes, and there's this giant limestone quarry, and he's like, oh, boss, what am I doing today? They're like, electricity. He's like, never seen it. And he's running knob and tube wires and just arcing across the entire place. And the first 3 times he electrifies himself, it's hilarious. But the 4th time, now he's a ghost.
Forever. Stuck in this hotel.
Oh, what do we do at this hotel? Oh, we hit ladies with twigs until they no longer have scarlet fever. Oh, I'll watch.
So where did I leave off? I don't know.
The
They're doing
electricity.
extensive landscaping.
Yep.
Luxurious decorations and amenities are built in the hotel.
Yep.
So this is a big deal.
And the former governor's like, make sure that we have plenty of walls to defend against the Klan.
Yep. Ultimately, the hotel cost $294,000 to build. Back then.
Back then, yeah.
I did not even do the inflation math. but it's
a lot.
A lot of money.
Y'all, if you look up the picture of this place, you're gonna go, oh, okay, fuck, this place was expensive.
Expensive. So, and it was considered an extremely extravagant build for the time. Okay. So like, this is crazy. Now, paranormal investigators, I just love saying that because it makes your eyeball twitch. Paranormal investigators have come to believe that limestone has a special ability to absorb and release electromagnetic and psychic energies.
Okay.
So the Crescent Mountain, the hilltop the hotel sits on, is predominantly limestone, and the massive 18-inch thick stones used for the body of the hotel, they believe is a factor that contributes to the abundance of paranormal activity that the hotel guests experience.
Isn't this the plot of the Ghostbusters reboot movie? Like, there's that mountain quarry, remember? And like Gozer's in the bottom of it. Like, that's basically the same plot. The mountain focuses the energy.
I'm not going to confirm or deny.
Okay.
I'm saying that paranormal experts have said that limestone holds psychic energy better.
All right.
Okay.
It also holds, like, okay, never mind. No, you know what? Fuck off. It's fine. Because there's like a lot of fossils in limestone. Are they confusing fossils with souls?
It could be.
Okay.
Dinosaur souls.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
So the Crescent Hotel is completed in 1886.
So all those Indian massacre sites, because they weren't on limestone, not haunted.
Not haunted.
Okay, just wanted to check.
So, as you interrupt me, I lost my spot again. The Crescent Hotel was finished being built in 1886.
Okay.
It was obviously a resort for the most rich and famous.
Yes.
Following its grand opening, it swiftly established itself as a premier destination for the elite and well-to-do. Lavish accommodations, breathtaking views, top-notch amenities. So people seeking respite from the city, basically.
Yeah.
The hotel quickly gained a reputation for its opulent ballrooms, exquisite dining experiences, and the exceptional service. For the next 15 years, the hotel was operated by a company called the ESIC, and it was an exclusive hotspot. Okay. She's doing great.
And this is back in a time, by the way, when people could and would take 2 months off.
Yeah.
This is back because, one, if you're going to travel to a destination, it's going to take you forever to get there.
Yeah. By train, because the train company's in on this.
Yes, by train. But there's that part of it. But the other part of it, too, is like, some people, like going on cruises weren't the same back then. Like, they didn't have, like, destination cruises, stuff like that. Like, if you got onto a boat that had nice rooms, that was because you were traveling to England. Yeah. Like, you were traveling to Europe, and then you were returning back to America, maybe.
So maybe we should do an episode on the Queen Mary. Speaking of boats that are fun to ride and are spooked up.
Okay.
In the lobby, a gentleman of the hotel right now.
Yeah.
In the lobby, a gentleman dressed in formal Victorian clothing, complete with a top hat, has often been spotted at the bottom of the stairway or sitting at the bar. Described as a distinguished-looking gentleman with a mustache and beard. Many people have tried to talk to this ghost when they see him, but he refuses to speak or engage and will leave as soon as you try to, like, talk to the ghost if you see him.
Oh, okay.
Okay. The hotel's crystal dining room,
because he's an incel ghost,
is another place in the hotel that is often said to contain frequent paranormal activities. Other beautifully dressed apparitions have often been encountered. Many seen groups of dancers, fully dressed attire, whirling around the room in the wee hours of the morning. Other reports tell that the 19th century gentleman who has been seen sitting at tables near windows, and when he is approached will say things like, "I saw the most beautiful woman here last night. I'm waiting for her to return."
Oh, that's what he'll say?
That's what he'll say to them.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
A former hotel.
So in Casper, right? In the movie Casper, like, ghosts have a thing where, like, oh, what's the word I'm looking for? I know your pregnant brain probably can't find it.
No.
Where they have unresolved issues, right? But once they resolve them, they get sucked to the afterlife, where I guess they're reincarnated or something. I don't know. It's that Casper
Please
universe.
don't reincarnate me after I make it off this earth.
Yeah. So this guy literally is just like, I died with a boner.
Yep.
I died with a boner, and I can't leave until I see this pretty lady.
Yeah.
That's his whole thing.
That's his whole shtick.
Yeah.
That guy.
But it's the 1880s or 1890s, right? And he's probably a guy like in his 30s. So, like, this is a racist ghost.
Okay.
All these ghosts are racist, by the way.
Oh, no.
I've noticed so far that everyone you've described, like, I've yet to hear I've yet to hear of like anyone who definitely wasn't a racist white dude.
Okay. Well, there's still more to go.
Okay.
A former hotel waitress reported that she spied a vision of a Victorian bride and groom in the dining room's huge mirrors. The groom allegedly made eye contact with her before the couple faded away.
Oh, and then you realize 2 weeks before that, she was on the Disney Haunted Mansion ride where she happened to see a bride and groom ghost dance in front of a fucking mirror. Okay. Was there a crystal ball speaking backwards as well?
The Victorian spirits that linger in the dining room are said to be very playful. On one occasion during the Christmas season, the Christmas tree and all of its packages were found mysteriously moved to the other side of the room. Additionally, all the chairs had been moved to circle the tree in the new area. On another occasion, staff arrived in the morning to find the dining room in perfect order, except that all the menus were scattered about the room.
Okay, but like people stay at this hotel, right?
Yeah.
And they have alcohol?
Uh-huh.
Okay. I just fucking... Can I tell you what I did when I was in Baltimore?
What?
Right? So I do the White House thing. The next
Okay.
day, I wake up in Baltimore, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm writing down, and I think, as I'm writing down, they had glass elevators, so you can see the whole lobby.
Yeah.
And on the second floor, I see what I think is a continental breakfast.
Okay, yeah.
So I walk over, and I load up my plate. I toast my bagel. I load it up. And as I turn around, I see a mob of people walking towards me, all wearing name tags and like professional wear.
Yeah.
And I realized I'm next to the conference rooms and I just robbed a fucking breakfast. This is not for guests.
No.
And it was good food.
Yeah.
I was at the fucking, this is like a Hyatt. This is
Yeah.
like a Hyatt fucking Sonesta, like good food.
Yeah.
I robbed that fucking place. And I was like, shit, but it's too late now. I've already toasted the everything bagel.
You can't give the bagel back.
Yeah. What am I going to say? Oh, I guess it must have been a ghost. Yeah, done. Oh, hey, dude, we're drunk. We're in the middle of nowhere in Arkansas, and they barely have Wi-Fi. You want to move the Christmas tree to the other side and then circle it with chairs like an AA meeting was happening towards a tree? Yes.
Uh-huh.
Must have been ghosts. First thought.
Okay, so here's what happens.
How do we know it wasn't demons?
It could have been.
Could have been.
Yeah. So what happens is this hotel, while it really popped off there in the beginning,
Yeah.
it actually quickly becomes unmanageable and falls into disrepair pretty quickly. Mm-hmm. In 1908, well, before 1908, it closes down completely.
That's actually a pretty quick turnaround.
Yeah.
Remember, it opened in 1886.
Yeah, it went hard.
Yeah.
But then running it was just so expensive.
Yeah.
And they weren't getting enough people, so it actually closed down.
Yeah, so 86 to 08. That's not, yeah.
In 1908, it was reopened as the Crescent College and Conservatory for Young Women.
Okay. All right. I don't like that. Because this is a big building.
It's a big building.
Middle of nowhere.
Uh-huh.
And you're filling it with young women.
Yep.
In the middle of nowhere.
Nowhere. Crescent College opened and provided education to females. This is their wording. I didn't write that. The college flourished, offering a comprehensive curriculum and fostering a vibrant academic community. The Crescent College provided young women with exceptional educational opportunities, empowering them to pursue knowledge and personal growth. Over the years, the college gained a reputation for its commitment to excellence, attracting students from across the country. Although the Crescent College for Women eventually closed its doors in 1924, its legacy remains embedded in the hotel's rich tapestry, commemorating an era of female education and empowerment.
Okay.
So 1908 to 1924. Not a long time.
Not a long time,
Not a
but
long
that's 16 years.
Yeah.
Now, here's what I didn't like in that.
Yeah.
One, you said female.
That was actually a direct quote from the hotel's
No,
website.
I understand that. But it's giving Ferengi. It's giving female.
I don't like when
human.
people use the word female in certain
There's certain
yeah.
in context and things like
It's
that.
weird.
Yeah, I only want to hear female when I'm reading at a zoo.
Yeah.
Like if I'm at a zoo and I'm reading a placard of what I'm looking at. And that's about it. That's about, a zoo, maybe a museum about animal bones.
Another often reported spirit is a young woman who once attended the Crescent College Conservatory.
Okay.
And was either jumped or was pushed to her death from a balcony. And today, guests report hearing her screams as she falls past their windows.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah. Now, there is another ghost that...
I want to say something.
Okay, go ahead.
It's a hotel, right?
Yeah.
With people who's staying there.
Yes.
People scream all the time at hotels.
Yeah.
I heard something outside the window. Okay. You're also in the middle of the woods.
Yeah.
I've heard some birds make some screams that I was like, yo, was that a person? And then you realize it's just a bird.
Yeah.
I'm just throwing it out there.
Okay.
Right.
Throwing it out there like that girl got thrown out a window?
Or she threw herself because she was in the middle of the woods and they were like, you're going to learn to read. And
As
she's
someone
like, no.
who went to an all-girls school,
in the middle of the
you might
woods?
want to throw yourself out of the window. No, I was in the middle of Philadelphia.
No, I know. I'm saying though. But
So
now
either way, you were trying to jump out a window.
Moving from Northeast Philly to the middle of the woods with these catty bitches. I was wondering too, because when I was looking at some of these images, the creepiest one was the grainy black and white. This one,
yeah, with all the girls,
with
in it.
all the girls just sitting there, and you're like,
Yeah.
that's giving me it's
nightmare fuel.
You know what it's giving? It's giving a combination of that one haunted nun movie from a few years ago, and The Shining, when the Shining picture of them at the end holding the glasses.
It has shining energy.
It does.
That hotel also haunted, but
Yes.
we wanted to focus on this hotel today.
Yes.
Or I did anyway. Okay, so there's another ghost that is from this specific time period.
Okay.
Okay, his name is Brecky. Breckie.
Brecky.
Okay. He's a 4-year-old child
Okay.
of Richard and Mary Breckenridge Thompson.
Okay.
Dash Thompson, who the young boy died at the hotel due to complications from appendicitis. And he has been seen throughout the hotel bouncing a ball and playing. So there's this little 4-year-old boy ghost that's running around the hotel constantly.
Okay.
And apparently if you go to the hotel and you have a ball and like roll it around the hallway, like it'll come back to you, like somebody's pushing it back to you. And so a lot of the paranormal people will bring like toys to try to play with little Brecky.
Okay. So I'm not going to trust anybody who's driving around calling themselves a paranormal investigator
Okay.
that has a van full of children's toys.
Okay.
I want to throw that one the fuck out there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Second thing.
Yeah.
The ball rolls back to you. Okay, bet. The floors were built in 1886.
Yeah.
That's all
By
I'm saying.
Irish people.
By
that
drunk,
were-
dead Irishmen.
Oh, now they're just automatically drunk?
Yeah, no, they
Wow.
have to be.
Wow.
They have to be.
Wow.
Babe,
Irish slander.
They took a job. They got off a boat, and then the guy was like,
The railroad company itself was waiting
yeah,
and was like, get on this train.
get on the train. We're going to a job. What are you
so
doing?
here's the thing. I'm
Better
going
on
to
floors.
cut you off.
Okay.
When I was looking at the timelines for this little boy, and
Yeah.
I think I'm like, who are these people? Who is this boy? Can
Yeah.
we prove he even was here? I found out that the boy was there during like 1912-ish, which would overlap with the all-girls school.
Yeah.
So then I was like, why the hell is there a 4-year-old boy at the all-girls school?
Dying of appendicitis.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, I need more information. So now I'm deep diving into it. So then I find out about this woman. Her name is Mary Carson Breckenridge. Okay. She's the mother. It was Richard and Mary Breckenridge, their son Brecky.
Okay.
Mary Breckenridge was an American nurse and midwife. Okay.
Okay.
So I found her wiki page.
Oh, wow. She had a whole wiki.
She has a whole wiki page.
Which is pretty big for a woman at that time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it turns out she's incredibly badass.
Really?
Yeah. She was the founder of the Frontier Nursing Service, the FNS, which provided comprehensive family medical care to mountain people of rural Kentucky. So the FNS served remote and impoverished areas off the road and rail system, only accessible by horseback. Okay. She modeled her services on European practices and sought to professionalize American nurse/midwives to practice autonomously in the homes and in decentralized clinics. Okay.
Okay.
Several childhood connections and experiences in her youth made a real strong impression on her, and it committed her to this family-centered public health that she was modeling through midwifery and continuous care. So she was really into maternal care, child nutrition, immunizations, prenatal care, birth support, and postnatal checkups. And this is all fucking unheard of back then.
Yeah.
Let alone in Appalachia, Kentucky.
So she was traveling around, basically, she was like battling anti-vaxxers
Yeah.
back in 1912.
Yeah.
She is Dr. Quinn medicine woman.
She literally is.
Yeah.
So Although her work demonstrated efficacy and dramatically reduced infant and maternal mortality rates in Appalachia at a very low cost, her model of nurse/midwifery never took root in the United States. Can you imagine why?
I can't.
What reason?
Was it because the cost benefit analysis was too perfect?
It was too good.
Yeah.
They were like, if we do these things,
well, listen,
we have positive outcomes at a low cost. And they said, get out of here, lady.
If these people aren't constantly dying, then they won't work for nothing.
Yeah.
That's how we get Irish people drunk on a roof.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Okay, so in 1912,
Yeah.
she marries Richard Ryan Thompson, a Kentucky native who was serving as the president of Crescent College and Conservatory in Eureka Springs, Arkansas.
Okay.
So she meets this guy, Richard. They get married. Let's see. Prior to having children, Breckenridge taught French and hygiene classes at the conservatory.
Okay.
So, like, I guess that might be how they met. Is she was teaching these classes there on hygiene, and he was the president. So
and he was like, "Hey, listen, I know there's a power imbalance here, but it's 1910."
Yeah. Anyway, also I found out that this teaching experience would put her in a great position because later at the end of this little tale I'm going to tell you about her, she actually goes to France and serves in the war as a nurse.
In World War I?
Yeah.
Wow.
She works as a nurse in the war effort. So they get married. They have 2 kids. Their first daughter, Polly, was born prematurely and lived only a few hours. Their son, Clifford Breckenridge, nicknamed Brecky, was born in 1914 and died at 4 years old. So this did happen. Their son died in this hotel.
So then he died in 1918 then?
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, so I was saying, like, this is the time when
Yeah. I was sitting there thinking about it because I thought we said 1912 before. So 1918 is when he died.
So having experienced the death of, because she was married before, the death of her previous husband and her 2 children, Breckenridge committed herself to creating conditions conducive to health and well-being of children and families. She left what she described as an extremely unhappy marriage to this guy, Richard.
Yeah.
And so she left, took her back her old name, and that's when she went to go work on the war front in France. But yeah, she was a total badass lady.
Yeah.
I liked her a lot.
Hey, dude, you suck so much shit. She went to the war.
Yeah, she was like, I've been through enough.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
I'm going to take a vacation at the war.
But yeah, so she founded the FNS and changed the way that midwifery worked in America.
Yeah, and now her 4-year-old son haunts a
hotel.
Spa in Arkansas.
A beautiful spa. You can play a little ball with him sometime. Okay, so then let's see what else I have here. In February of 1925. Okay, so the school closes.
Okay, February 1925. Yeah.
School closes in February 1925. Claude Fuller, the former mayor and U.S. Congressman of Arkansas, and Albert Ingalls, he was the mayor of Eureka Springs, get together, and they purchased the hotel together.
Okay, so two guys buy it.
2 guys buy it.
Again, politicians.
2 politicians buy it.
Politicians do love some real estate.
So these are, during this time period, we have more ghosts associated with this time period. I could not find more information about them. But other apparitions have been cited in room 202 specifically.
202?
In room 202, that used to be the on-location doctor's office.
Okay.
And so it got turned into a room after they got rid of on-location doctors.
Gotcha.
And it's said that when you're in that room, you can, all of a sudden it will become overwhelmed with the smell of cherry tobacco because the doctor that used to work there used to smoke his pipe in that room.
Okay.
And so it's often said that people see the ghost of this doctor sitting in a chair smoking a pipe.
Watching you?
Watching you.
Just sitting there and just going to sit there and watch you and smoke this pipe real fast. Yeah. I don't know why the second floor of this building is the most haunted area. You would think it would be more the lobby, but no. You thought you were sleeping in a regular room. This was my office. In fact, where your bed is located, that's where I used to watch people die. Because I was a mountain doctor in the middle of a rich people hotel. It was not a successful rich people hotel for long, but I'm a mountain doctor. My doctor name is Dr. What?
I didn't write it down.
I'm that bad of a doctor that people,
I tried to look him up when I did find his name, and there was nothing.
I don't even have a Wikipedia page.
No.
But this nurse does.
Yeah, dude.
She's a badass nurse.
She's a badass nurse. So
the nurse's dead kid has his own Wikipedia page. But me, doctor recommends you smoke cherry tobacco. I've been forgotten in the winds of time. That's why I sit at the end of your bed and I watch you sleep.
Time for your examination. Okay, so room 424.
420!
4.
Oh.
Has a ghostly waiter that carries trays up and down the hallway and keeps trying to deliver food. So you'll get a knock on the door.
No, that's my hell! Oh, that's my hell!
So he keeps knocking on the door trying to deliver you food, but then when you open the door, he's not there.
Oh, no. He's the worst waiter. Dude, no, I said 420. I said, do you want to do some 420 in 4? John Blaze, dude. Fucking stupid.
I just ordered room service.
Fucking waiter.
Others have witnessed hands coming out of bathroom mirrors.
Okay.
Heard cries of what sounded like a man falling from the ceiling.
Okay.
Other guests have been shaken during the night. And on occasion, a patron ran screaming from their room, professing they had seen blood splattered all over the walls.
Okay.
So it's ooky spooky stuff.
It sounds just like a hotel to me. I mean, like, I've been... Okay. I woke up the other day in a hotel.
Yeah, I know.
Right? And somebody had set my alarm.
Yeah.
There was the clock radio in the place, right? 6 a.m. This shit just went off because people are weird when they stay in hotels. And also when you wake up and you don't quite know where you are, you're just like, ah!
Yeah.
I just think the blood, I saw the walls were splattered with blood. Okay, did you turn a light on? Was it still splattered with blood? Was it dark? Are you been drinking a little, bud? Have you not been drinking a little, bud? Because one time I had been drinking too much for too long, and I made it to Alabama.
Uh-oh.
And then I was informed that there was no alcohol for sale.
Nope.
And then I was forced to not have alcohol for that evening. And I saw shit.
Yeah.
It was a Motel 6.
It's called Detox Tremens.
Yeah, and you know what? I saw worms crawl out of the walls.
Yeah.
I saw all sorts of things.
Yeah.
And you know what happened? I did not go and check whether or not there was a lot of limestone underneath the Motel 6.
Wow.
I was like...
So you didn't do your due diligence, is what you're telling me.
I did not. I heard a baby crying, though.
I bet you did.
And I told that lady, shut that baby the fuck up.
Whoa.
And
That's
she was
not
like,
nice.
Sir, we live here.
Yeah, you're on our lawn, sir.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
So let's get to 1937.
That's not a great year.
We're going to 1937 together.
So in the 1920s, there's just something happened in the 1920s when these two politicians owned the place. It just turned into a weird fuck palace, and then a lot of people died.
It's very well.
According to the ghosts. According to the ghosts,
die in hotels every day.
Yeah,
there is a lot of death in hotels all the time, constantly,
and a lot of cruise ships too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, cruise ships have morgues on them.
Yeah. There's a morgue in this hotel. We're going to get into that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So in 1937, we're going to go on a little side quest here. We have a little side quest because when, so I'm in my little wormholes, if you will. And this one went wild, my 1937 wormhole. So I'm actually going to open up a second document because I have a Word doc in front of me called Crescent Hotel. It's all the notes I wrote on the Crescent Hotel.
Okay.
I had to make a separate document just for this little wormhole I went into.
Okay.
And it's about a gentleman named Norman Baker.
Norman Baker. Not Norman Bates.
Nope.
Norman Baker.
Norman G. Baker.
Oh, he has a G now. We're giving him a middle
Well,
initial.
I'm saying what I wrote on here. His name's Norman G. Baker. So Norman began his career as a vaudeville performer. He showed early promise as an inventor and machinist. He invented, through his company, the Tangley Company, I don't know. He invented an automatic air calliope. I do not know how you're supposed to say this word. Calliope. It's a variation of a steam organ, which was in much demand for fairgrounds and circuses.
Calliope.
Calliope. Is that how you say it? Wonderful.
Yes.
Do you know what it looks like?
I have like a general idea.
I got a picture of it for you.
Head.
Put your glasses back on.
I know. It's just... Oh, yeah. I remember one of these things.
So he's the guy that invented that.
And it makes the noises
He
and stuff like
invented
that.
circus steam noise.
Oh.
This is circus steam noise.
Wow. Yeah. Okay.
So that was his first big invention.
Okay. Norman G. Baker.
Norman G. Baker. By 1904, Baker had become intrigued by traveling shows and the people that presented themselves as mentalists and other vaudeville performers. So he actually ended up setting up his own troupe of traveling performers.
Okay.
He renamed himself Charles Welch and traveled the country where he would like change his outfit and like I think he put on like a fake mustache and a hat, and then he would come out as the mind reader Pearl Tangley.
Wait, shut up.
Yeah. So his name is Baker. His traveling show, he was the lead.
Welch.
He was Charles Welch. But then during the show, he would come out and pretend to be this mind reader, Pearl Tangley.
But why Pearl?
I don't know.
That's so crazy.
There's no rhyme or reason.
But Tangley though, that's the same name as his company.
Exactly. So
that makes it
Tangley is going to come up. That name is going to be used a lot. Baker and Tangley.
Okay.
Those are his two like company names that he uses a lot.
Gotcha.
Okay. In 1924, he got convinced about the potential for this growing field called radio broadcasting.
Oh.
So Baker went to the town of Muscatine, Iowa, and filed for a permit for a radio station.
Okay.
In 1925, he opens the station. He gets approved, and you receive your call sign for like what the
letters are going to be.
And his letters were KTNT, which kind of looks like you're saying cunt. KTNT.
Yeah.
Chosen for its explosive connotations, he nicknamed the KTNT to stand for Know the Naked Truth.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, TNT, is like the dynamite explosives and stuff like that. Like, I would have just leaned into the KTNT.
Nope.
But he didn't have, like, drive time radio DJs back then. This is back when they're like, welcome to KTNT, Know the Naked Truth. We're here to tell you the truth about everything.
Yeah.
Is the moon made of cheese? Is it owned by Jews? Find out later.
So here's the thing.
I have a feeling.
He did sound like that.
God damn it!
Because he worked with the carnivals and the traveling people and the shows. So
that's the barker.
He did. He was a barker. So he did kind of talk like that.
Okay.
Know the naked truth.
Yeah.
So he would use his, how do you say the instrument again?
Oh, the calliope.
The calliope. He would use his calliope as the sign-on sound. Yeah, so you would hear that.
Okay.
And then he would use his skills as a veteran carnival barker to create great radio promotion and announcement.
Oh, you know what's funny is actually, so I don't want to compare myself too much to this dude.
Yeah, no.
I really don't, because I have a feeling I asked you if we could hit the no Nazi button, and you specifically were like, we absolutely cannot.
Yeah.
And so I have a feeling, I have a feeling,
sorry.
but one thing with like my TikToks and stuff like that is like I learned how to make them interesting from doing street shows. Mm-hmm. So when I used to perform, sometimes we would perform like just on the street. And when you're trying to pull an audience in, you learn of what cadence to use to stay more interesting than other things. Mm-hmm. So is my cadence more interesting than the TV that's on in a bar or stuff like that, or all these different stuff? So yeah, that's very neat that he took carnival barking and he learned, hey fella, come over here. You're going to see the craziest thing you've ever seen.
Listen to KTND.
We're going to know the naked truth. Naked.
Whoa. So Baker immediately began agitating voraciously against the alleged cartel of broadcasters, aiming at independent stations.
Okay. So he's immediately going after the cabal? Mm-hmm. All right.
This was before the broadcast spectrum was truly regulated, and many news stations would interfere with each other.
Okay.
By 1925, Baker was the president of the American Broadcasters Association, a short-lived lobbying group against the monopolists. In particular, Baker railed against AT&T, which then, through the Western Electric, had a de facto monopoly on radio station transmitters. So, yeah, the cabal.
I mean, well, to be fair, AT&T was a massive monopoly.
Yeah.
And he was fighting a good fight against them for having complete control over the entire informational system at the time.
Okay.
That is an open cabal. There is a thing there. It's a lot like, all right, I have a feeling this is a lot like the Andrew Tate or the Tucker Carlson thing, where they're going to come forward and say, there's a lot of problems in capitalism. The answer is to sell my weird energy drinks.
Throughout his career, Baker was involved in almost continuous litigation of various kinds.
Okay.
Often libel suits against his detractors, real or imagined. The lawsuits deterred opponents and ensured a high media profile. He used his station to launch blistering attacks on innumerable commercial media and political groups, both locally and nationwide. Along with various Tangley stores and a drawing school, Baker also published TNT magazine and later was the president of Progressive Publishing Company, a publisher in the Daily Midwest Free Press. It was meant to undercut other newspapers, which Baker asserted were part of the conspiracy against him. Baker also operated a traveling campaign bus equipped with a Calliope, and he was in demand as a speaker for populist causes in the region. For example, he denounced mandated cattle TB tests, water fluoridation, vaccinations, and also aluminum cookware, which he claimed caused half of all cancers.
Okay. All right. So All right. So you introduced me to Dr. Quinn, medicine woman, and then you're like, now here's the exact opposite. This is a lunatic man who is running a giant Facebook group who is running around being like, we shouldn't be testing cattle for tuberculosis.
Why waste our time? We're just going to cook the tuberculosis right out of them on the grill.
All I'm saying is meat. I don't care if that meat is coughing before I eat it.
Yeah. That could never go wrong.
No.
So I found one of the original flyers. This is from a New York Times article to give them full credit. Just so you can look at it, but I'm going to read it to you. But you can see it's the original article. This was part of his newspaper publishing that he sent out.
Yeah.
For the TNT radio show.
I can't wait to see how much of this is still true.
It says TNT, The Naked Truth, Baker Publications. Here is Volume 1.
Volume 1. Okay.
Cancer is conquered. Muzzing up our breadbasket. Trust propaganda in our schools? ? The truth about the insurance grift. Tricks of mediums exposed. Shall we have, in quotes, state medicine?
Oh my God. He's like,
the power of mind over body. Robbers in the night. Aluminum and the medical bigotry. Norman Baker's page. News as we see it.
So he's Alex Jonesing it, like hard.
Yeah.
He's Alex Jonesing the shit out of it. Now, what's funny is like when I'm reading, like when you're reading them off, like some of these are written in a way where you're like, all right, well, talk to me more about this insurance it's graft actually. Insurance graft. Mm-hmm. Tell me more about that. Trust propaganda in our schools.
Yeah, that's why you have to ban the certain books because the schools are propaganda, obviously.
Well, here's the thing, though, is actually as I'm looking at this, trust propaganda means different than what you're thinking.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
This is propaganda that's written by the big trusts, the big monopolies. So there is like, he's one of these really weird, from what I'm feeling so far, he's one of these really fucking weird guys who notices that like there are things that are wrong and there's a wrong direction that some things are going in. But then he's like, aluminum cookware causes cancer.
Yeah.
And you're like, I don't know about that one,
I
but
don't know about that, dude.
Yeah. But aluminum's kind of new.
So, yeah. Did they say aluminium? I like when
That's
people
a British
say that.
thing.
I
That's a
love when the
British thing.
British say that.
Yeah.
So I think we need to take our break, right? Because I feel like this is a good moment.
Yeah. To take a bump.
Let's go take a bump together.
Okay. I don't like
feel
the
like,
way.
See?
Yeah.
It's bad when I say it.
Yeah.
I don't think I should say it. Because when I say it, it means something else.
It does. But when I say it, it's just a fun little song that people hear.
Rip your Barbie arm off. Let's do a bump. And we're back.
We're back.
We've eaten lunch.
Yeah. We paused and ran off and ate lunch.
I was so hungry, and I made a nice flatbread. You want to know what my flatbread was?
I know what your flatbread was.
It was figs, goat cheese, a little bit of prosciutto,
yeah,
and then I baked it, and then I topped it with arugula and a balsamic glaze.
Yeah.
And then I ate that with truffle potato chips.
Yeah. And I had
I sound like a rich person.
Yeah, and I had a store brand sesame chicken with the driest rice in human history that I made in the microwave over 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And then I stirred up and ate directly from the packaging.
We had really different lunch experiences.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. So let's get back to what
But
we're
we
talking
both
about.
had a Tootsie Roll dessert.
Oh, I know. It was so good.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just need a little sweet treat.
I'm coming back to the old grandma candies.
Oh, yeah, for
Like
sure.
like Tootsie Rolls, that was my grandma's thing. And so I'm just sitting out here with a bag of Tootsie Rolls.
I love them. Well, I love the vanilla Tootsie Rolls, the superior Tootsie Roll.
You're into the fruit chews.
Ooh, specifically the vanilla ones. But I like the other fruit chews as well.
I like them a lot too because they're just saltwater taffy.
Yeah.
They're all just saltwater taffy.
Do you know they make Tootsie Pops? So like the taffy, right?
What are you talking about?
Tootsie Pops.
Yeah.
Lollipop. That's the word I'm
one,
looking for. It's
two.
a lollipop. And it has a Tootsie Roll in it.
Did the baby drain so much of your
Yes.
calcium that you forgot the word lollipop?
The baby is moopsying me hard right now.
Yeah.
So, okay, so in the classic Tootsie Pop, it's a little chocolate Tootsie Roll inside, and you
Yes.
get like the cherry or the grape or whatever. But if you go into their website, you can buy Tootsie Pops that have the fruit chew inside.
Okay.
I just need you to know that sounds crazy good.
Okay. Are they paying us to say this?
No,
Then why are we talking
because
about it?
it sounds delicious. Okay, so anyway, let's get back to.
Okay, we're going back to the Alex Jones. Again, it feels like, real quick, just because I was thinking about this while we're eating, it feels like every time you're like, and then this man discovered radio stations.
Okay, I need
and
you to
it always
stop
goes
talking
bad.
immediately. Just stop talking with your preconceived notions
Uh-huh.
of what you think is happening. Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, we're talking about the Crescent Hotel, but I'm on a side quest right now about
Yes.
Norman Baker.
Okay.
And so last we talked of Norman Baker, he was starting his own publishing company and talking about, fluorinated water and TB testing cattle, how that shouldn't be mandated.
And aluminum cookware,
And
which I looked up.
Aluminum cookware causes cancer, allegedly.
I looked up. That does not.
No.
Because obviously we all use aluminum foil.
Yeah.
And basically it was like, you should use. It's not the best thing to constantly use.
Yeah.
But it's fine. Like that's what.
There are way worse things.
There's so many worse
There are
things.
people that put plastic liners in their crock pots.
What?
They make crockpot companies. They make like a plastic. It looks like a trash bag liner.
Okay.
And you put it in your crock pot before you put all your meats and potatoes and stuff in there.
What?
And then you cook your food in it so that when you scoop out your food and eat it, you then pull the bag out and throw it away, and so you don't have to wash the crock pot. But I'm like,
Just wash the crock pot.
you're just soaking your food in hot plastic? That's crazy.
Now, here's the thing. Here's one thing to tell you real quick. If you go and eat it at Wawa, which is a delicacy gas station food around here.
Yeah.
Applebee's, Panera Bread.
Yep.
All those different places.
Same thing.
They are cooking everything in. They basically this pre-cooked food that is dumped in boiled water.
Yep.
That is in a bag.
Yeah.
So that's the way they heat it. That's how they can heat it so quickly.
You can do it at home if you want with crockpot bags.
Crock-pot
Who
bags.
are not going to sponsor this podcast.
Do you want to have the flavor of Applebee's in your home? Hey, is a credit card's worth of microplastics a day entering your body not enough? Crockpot bags.
Okay. So speaking of crockpot bag cancer.
It's like lead poisoning for our generation.
Yeah.
We all got it.
Yeah, we're fine. What's his name again?
We're a lot funnier after lunch.
Norman Baker.
Pre-lunch, we were sad.
We were not. I was having a great time.
You were.
Norman Baker. Wow. Wow.
All right.
Norman Baker
Okay.
had read the writings of this guy, Charles Ozias of Kansas City, Arkansas.
I don't like that name already. That
And
name feels racist.
Charles Ozias stated that he had the cure for cancer, asserting his efficacy of it, even though his 5 test subjects all died expeditiously.
Okay.
But Norman Baker didn't care. He liked the cut of this guy's jab.
Yeah.
So Baker became friends with, and I could not figure out how they met or became business partners or friends, whatever. But he met this guy named Harry Hoxsey. It's Hoxsey, Hoxsey.
Okay.
So Baker gets this guy, Harry Hoxsey, who, when I looked him up, was a former coal miner and insurance salesman. And
I love that. That's a great crossover.
yeah, crossover.
Those bleed into each other wholeheartedly.
And Baker and him start promoting their own cure for cancer.
Okay.
In April of 1930, Norman Baker began operating the Baker Institute of Muscatine and advertised his clinic on air.
Okay.
So the very expensive, I put this in the quotes, very expensive cure for cancer and other diseases consisted of injections of a mix of common substances, including corn silk, watermelon seeds, clover, just water, carbolic acid. Simultaneously, KT&T denounced licensed doctors as educated fools and cutters, incapable of helping patients.
Okay. Now, where did these injections go? Were they in the butt?
They didn't tell me where the injections were
So
going,
they were in the butt.
but it was probably in the butt.
We're going to say butt stuff. It always ends up in the butt somehow with these people. So up the butt with Oziah.
Baker said, no, Oziah is not in this.
I know I'm saying, but he liked Oziah.
Yeah.
So it's Oziah's butt cure, but except this is actually Baker's.
Actually, this is, so the cure, in air quotes, came more from Harry Hoxsey's idea.
Okay.
He had this idea. He said, this is his story that he made up,
Okay.
his garage story, that he was at his dad's farm and one of his dad's horses had a big tumor on his leg.
Okay.
And he saw the horse trying to cure itself by eating certain things around the farm. And then that detoxed the tumor and cured the horse. So things like clover and watermelon seeds. He was monitoring what the sick horse was eating. And that's why he turned those things into injections, because it cured the cancer and got the tumor out of the horse's leg.
Okay. So let me just step in here real fast.
Okay, go ahead.
If my choice is medical doctor
Yeah.
with multiple years degrees who might not know everything,
Yeah.
or a man who watched a horse,
Intently.
I'm just saying that feels difficult. If this was CNN, both opinions would be the same.
Yeah.
Both of these opinions are exactly
one guy
the
is
same.
a fascist who's trying to become a dictator. The other guy is old and silly.
They're
Same thing.
The other guy's 2 years older than the fascist.
Same.
The fascist is 2 years younger than the old man.
So
All right.
you said medical doctor, MD. Baker was quoted as saying that MD stood for more dough because they were all about the money.
Says the rich. Okay.
At the time, the Journal of American Medical Association published an editorial accusing Bakery of quackery. Baker announced that the AMA stood for Amateur Meat Cutters Association.
What?
And the AMA's main anti-quackist, Morris Fishbein, stated that Baker has even claimed that the AMA offered him $1 million for his cancer cure with the intent of forcing it from the market so his patents might be compelled others to resort to surgery. In turn, Baker attacked Fishbein for being Jewish and sued AMA for libel and defamation. Morris is back, baby.
Fucking
you
Morris.
may remember Morris
From August Quack Month.
August Quack Month. He is the anti-quack medical doctor.
He's the best.
So Morris is back.
I can't believe you just haymakered me with a Morris Fishbein.
I brought a Morris in.
Also, how dare you bring a quack into Fucktober?
Well, this is the thing. I didn't realize I was doing it.
Okay.
I didn't know. I was on a side quest.
We started at a haunted hotel.
I'm still getting there.
Built by drunk dead Irishmen.
We don't know. They were drunk. You're just assuming that.
It was 1890. Everyone was drunk.
Because they didn't have clean water.
Yeah.
Okay, so in 1930, Baker reported that 3 men attacked and fired on the hospital, fired guns at the hospital.
Okay.
But police could find no evidence of that happening, except they did find proof that Hoxsey, Baker's cohort, had fired all the gunshots at the hospital.
Oh. So he did a false flag.
Yeah, false flag operation.
All right, so he did a false flag. All right, this is feeling very Marjorie Taylor Greene.
In May of 1930, the state of Iowa filed an injunction against Baker, Hoxsey, and 3 others for practicing medicine without a license. In Muscatine, Baker conducted a huge Woodstock-like outside gathering for open-air curing of patients. This event drew tens of thousands who were urged to buy various Baker or Tangley products when they arrived.
Okay.
Iowa's had a trial of Baker, right? So they began this trial against him.
Okay.
It began in 1930 and gained nationwide attention. Simultaneously, Baker was called before the Federal Radio Commission in D.C. to defend KTNT's license. Baker and Hawksley turned on each other over the division of profits from the hospital and filed several lawsuits against each other. Reportedly, the Institute brought in as much as $100,000 a month.
Wow.
Which was spirited away in suitcases under the cover of night, but most went to Baker. Hawksley was already a nationally known quack, traveling from state to state, avoiding the law and Fishbein.
Okay. If only there was a Federal Bureau of Investigation to look into these guys crossing state lines.
In 1931,
okay,
the Iowa Supreme Court sustained the injunction against Baker and his practice. Also, the FRC issued a damning report about KTNT, and after a court battle, the station was finally delicensed in June of 1931. Among cited reasons were venomous, obscene broadcasts against the public's interest. Baker returned from Mexican exile in 1937.
So I guess he did.
So we're gonna go into that, but he never did a day in jail because he was told he had to go to jail after this, but he ran away to Mexico.
Okay.
When he comes back years later, he is put in jail for exactly 1 day and has to pay a $50 contempt of court fine that he tried to appeal, but the U.S. Supreme Court said you have to pay the $50. He took it to the Supreme Court.
He took it over $50?
Yeah.
He went all the way to the Supreme Court.
He was making $100,000 a week.
Yeah.
So...
He was making Alex Jones money.
What you're saying is, what do you do after this?
Yeah.
Baker runs for governor of Iowa.
Okay, that makes sense.
He ran on the farm labor ticket in 1932. He received only a few hundred votes, but the campaign kept his name in the news and kept yet another mouthpiece for his rants against local power structures. Mm-hmm. You know, it's that Chris Christie model.
Yeah,
you just got to keep your name out there.
You're using your name the same way you would a beach ball at a concert.
Yeah.
As long as it's in the air, you're still viable. But if the second a security guard grabs you and sticks you with a pen and deflates you, your career's over.
Yeah. In 1932, Baker organized the short-lived United Farm Federation of America and appointed himself the permanent honorary member and chairman, drawing a salary, which caused the lawsuit. In 1933, so 1 year later...
He doesn't understand honorary.
No.
Honorary's not supposed to pay.
In 1933, having been run out of Iowa... Baker obtained Mexican permission to operate XENT in Nuevo Laredo in the Rio Grande. The station was a so-called border blaster operating nightly, recording from 150 kilowatts. The outside reach... Okay, so this would reach into the United States, but it was outside the reach of the U.S. Federal Communications Commission.
Yeah.
This reportedly made XENT the second most powerful station in North America, because the first most powerful station was John Brinkley's, the Goat Balls guy.
I'm on a Mexico radio.
So that's right. Crossover to John Brinkley.
Oh my God.
After Morris Fishbein.
Oh my God. How are we going to get back to an Arkansas hotel?
You better let me get there.
I'm trying.
Baker Hospital. Sorry, my stomach. Okay. So then here's the thing. John Brinkley's Goat Balls is beating him across with more power, as we know. He gets more power if you listen to that episode. But so this is still the second most powerful radio coming out of Mexico.
Yeah.
Nightly, XENT broadcasts had a very eclectic mix of decidedly lowbrow entertainment. So he purposefully was going very lowbrow, whereas I believe John Brinkley was like trying really hard to push like a very specific type of narrative we talked about in that episode. This guy was doing hillbilly style music, tirades where he would just yell about whatever, Alex Jones.
Yeah.
His targets were numerous, and he would rail against Jewish people, very anti-Semitic, anti-Catholic, just yell off into the night. Also, one time he did broadcast live while having sex with his mistress on air.
What? What?
Yeah.
You boys ever been to Mexico radio? What the fuck? He was banging his mistress live. Was his wife listening?
I don't know. I couldn't find any more information other than
it just said that
the FCC got real upset
that he was just railing her. He was in a 1930s microphone, no less.
Yeah,
which is one of those old timey ones that you have to hold the back of.
Listen.
Oh no, it might have been one of the big circular ones.
Yeah.
Oh
no.
You're hearing it live from EXTNT.
So
the Jews are trying to stop my penis.
In 1937.
Okay.
We're back. In 1937.
He comes back to America.
In a spa and resort town of Eureka Springs, Arkansas.
Okay.
Baker found a city down on his luck. He bought the Crescent Hotel, cash, which had previously been haven for the rich, but had fallen into disrepair due to the Depression. Mm-hmm. Baker converted the hotel into a hospital and treated thousands of desperate patients with his injections. The giant resort/hospital opened in November. Reportedly, Baker accumulated hundreds of thousands of dollars, which he kept in various safe deposits known only to him and his new accomplice, Thelma Yount.
I miss 1930s last names.
Yeah,
Yount, Hawksley.
It is believed that he was clearing about $500,000 a year in what he was claiming. Because again, this man is secretly funneling cash at certain points.
He's hiding it everywhere.
But he put it out there that he made at least $500,000 in a year.
Yeah. Well, that's probably when people were paying him by a check.
Yeah.
So he knew that could be traced.
So we're back at the hotel.
Okay.
We're back in the
at
hotel.
the haunted Arkansas hotel.
Crescent Hotel. We're back.
Okay.
It's 1937.
Okay.
He's purchased it.
That kid's been dead.
He's been dead.
Brecky's been dead running around.
R.I.P. Brecky.
People are still seeing a top-hatted man, though.
Yeah.
Even back then.
So I just want to say, I have a note here that Baker was described as very handsome with wavy white hair and hypnotic eyes. And he was, again, said to be an incredible showman. So he was like a big personality live.
Yeah. Well, he was a carnival barker. To
Yeah.
remind everybody before we went and ate lunch, I know for you guys that was just a few minutes ago, but for me that was almost an hour. Mm-hmm. He was a carnival barker.
Yep.
He knew how to do mentalist shit.
Yep.
He learned basically everything he needed to do to be a cult leader.
Yep. So
when are we taking our podcast to Mexico?
During Baker's tenure at the Crescent, he made extensive modifications to the hotel.
Okay.
The interior underwent a lavender-themed remodeling, adding a distinctive touch to the premises. The reason is Baker is known for wearing white suits, purple shirts, and lavender ties, as well as driving an orchid-colored car.
Okay.
So he had a brand this whole time. I just never brought it up before.
Yeah.
He dresses like an orchid. He drives an orchid car. He loves purple, white, and lavender. And so when he bought the hotel, he redid the entire interior to be lavender and white and purple colors. And again, if you go online and look at the pictures of this hotel, it is gorgeous. It's
so
oak.
pretty inside.
It's limestone. It's so architecturally pretty. And he went in there and landlord purpled it. He did a coat of landlord purple on that thing.
I'm pulling up a picture of this Norman G. Baker guy right now. And, in this one photo right here, he definitely looks, he's giving evangelical pastor. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. He's definitely, because now the problem I have is that all of these pictures are in black and white. But he's definitely serving righteous gemstones in this picture.
Yeah.
Because of the ring and all that different stuff.
And his nickname was the Man in Purple.
Yep, the Man in Purple.
He loved wearing purple and lavender specifically.
But these glasses he has the preacher hair though.
Yep.
That's
he's got
very
that
much
Conan
the preacher.
O'Brien little bip.
Don't put that on Conan.
Well, he's got the little bip thing.
No, this is more of that preacher helmet. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay, I got you though.
I had one of the quotes I pulled from one of the sources I was reading about this. It said, when he bought the Victorian and neoclassical Crescent Hotel, he desecrated the interior with these colors.
Desecrated.
That's how they felt about his lavender paint.
When you started describing the white suits, I started picturing like if Colonel Sanders
it's
just
that.
Yeah.
But white and purple.
Yeah.
Okay. So Baker ensured his own security with an escape route from his office onto the first floor, concealing a hidden staircase. So he built in a hidden staircase from his office.
Yeah.
His office.
When your doctor's planning on being raided by the FBI, that's not great.
His office boasted a unique 6-sided desk that served as the nerve center for his 6 different businesses, showcasing his entrepreneurial spirit and unscrupulous nature.
Okay. I'm trying to pick. I guess because of the different drawers, each like filing cabinet, I guess you might have inside the desk. But why not just get 6 filing cabinets? You fucking weirdo.
Because it's a vibe. This dude is definitely about a vibe.
He's like our economy. It's run on vibes.
Patients who came to see Baker's hospital were promised that if their cancer wasn't cured in 3 to 6 weeks, they could return for more treatment, in quotes, free of charge, except for board, room, and transportation. That was according to court documents. Medical examinations at the hospital consisted of palpitating patients and pinching them and looking at them. That was about it. Pinching and looking. Baker's facilities didn't contain any microscopes. Baker also offered guaranteed cures for less dire conditions such as hemorrhoids and varicose veins, using the same handful of ineffectual injections regardless of the disease being treated.
Okay.
So again, watermelon seeds.
Yep.
You got hemorrhoids?
He's just not. Here's the good news. He's not sewing animal parts inside of people. He is giving them false hope and letting them die.
Listen,
but
we all can't be a Brinkley.
I do want to say, just because I was clicking around here on the Google image search, and it led me to the Muscatine County website of Muscatine, Iowa, where they have notes. Norman has made it to their famous people from Muscatine, Iowa.
Take that down, guys.
Yeah. I mean, it's telling really the history of him in general, just like what a quack he was and everything else. But it's just very funny when you start clicking on things and you're like, where am I? Visit Muscatine, the official website. You're like, what?
Oh my God. Okay, so whenever you would enter the hospital, so again, the hotel is now a hospital. Whenever you would enter the hospital, they had in the lobby area hundreds of bottles, little glass bottles, and these were supposed tumors and human flesh.
Okay.
So they had little bottles filled with liquid, and they had like tumors he cut off of people in them and all this stuff. And he would display them all over, making him look like a real doctor. And these were his specimens that he removed from people, and he saved their lives.
So he just has jars of people parts everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, come on in. Let me stick you with a needle real fast. Give you some sunflower seed. I don't know why he's speaking like a Louisiana man.
After the hospital was shut down, all of the specimens were removed from the building. So
I hope so.
Baker treated hundreds of people, patients who were grasping at straws, trying to get cured of their deadly disease.
Yep.
No cure ever occurred. However, he did extract literally millions of dollars. He made millions of dollars from this.
Yeah, he didn't remove any tumors. He just removed some wallets.
He scammed everybody by pretending that he could cure the cancer, and many, many patients died. And so, there was always a morgue basement area because just like a cruise ship, there were so many people there for so long. They had to have an area. He actually expanded the morgue.
Oh.
Yeah.
He was like, I am so terrible that I expect that this is not enough.
Yeah. So he actually expanded the basement morgue and built out like an annex area.
What?
So
we had to charge more. We're doing upgrades for our morgue.
So Arkansas tried to, but was unable to close down the Baker Hospital.
How could you not? How shitty is your government?
Because Eureka Springs refused to let the state in because he had revitalized the economy so much and provided so many jobs that every time the state would try to raid or come in, everyone from Eureka Springs would hold them off. So they had to keep it open.
We can't stop Murder Mountain. If we close Murder Mountain, then who is going to come to the diner?
Yeah.
That's literally what they're at. We would love to close Murder Mountain. We would absolutely love it if Murder Mountain wasn't here. Mm-hmm. But if it wasn't for the jobs that Murder Mountain provides to this town.
Yeah, this is like the Don't Look Up movie.
It's just 100%. But think of how many minerals are going to be on the Comet.
Those are going to be good jobs on the Comet. Also, at this point in time, people started writing about how he was starting to age kind of like grossly. He was like getting a little hefty and a little
weird,
a little ugly looking. People are starting to notice, and like so when people are writing about him at this point, they're like, he's girthy. They're using the word girthy. That's really fucked up.
Because he's fat. He's rich.
He's rich and fat.
Because back then, like that was the only way to get that way. You had to be super rich to be able to get plump.
At that time, also, it was reported that he would always have one or more submachine guns within his reach at all times.
This is what I want from my doctor. I want my doctor to have a hidey hole, a Saddam Hussein style escape hatch into a spider hole, where he has multiple Tommy guns waiting.
Yeah.
He only dresses in purple, like the bad guy from the first season of Jessica Jones. He's like, what the fuck is going on here? I'm the purple man. Let me cut you. What the fuck?
Okay, so the federal government brought charges against Norman Baker with 7 counts of mail fraud.
Oh!
Because this whole time, the postal inspectors are on his ass about him mailing things illegally.
Yo, let's hear it for that Comstead Act. I know we talked mad shit a few episodes ago about all the awful that Comstead Act did, but
We're checking your mail, baby. We're reading it all.
Yo, who's got that? Who's reading his mail? His name is J. Edna Hoover. That's right, I said Edna.
So the case opened in 1939. Was complicated because Baker had no formal post at the business. He exercised his control by using different proxies. So he had all these fake little LLC companies.
He had a bunch of shell
like
companies.
Tangley, little shell companies, and he would send all his mail through there. So the mail never had his name on it.
So none of this officially was his mail. So he's like, how could I commit crime?
How was it me? You can't prove it was me.
It wasn't me. No, that wasn't my Twitter account. That was Dark Dick Lord 6799.
Yeah.
Prove that's me.
However, despite his many appeals, all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court again, Baker was sentenced to 4 years in jail and $4,000 restitution.
That's it. Only $4,000 he was making.
I know.
He was publicly making $500,000 a year.
In January of 1940, the court found Baker's cure for cancer a pure hoax and utterly false, and jailed him pending appeals. Baker served his sentence at the penitentiary at Leavenworth, Kansas. From May of 1941 to July of 1944. So 4 years.
So almost the entirety of World War II. Everyone else is out there and they're like, listen, we're just going to throw your ass in jail because you keep killing soldiers' grandmoms. Their moms and grandmas keep getting cancer. And then you keep taking them to this purple room where you go, I learned this from a horse. And then you stab them with needles. And then they die. You're making our troops sad. We can't lose the war.
In 1946, Norman Baker attempted to return to, in quotes, healing by establishing a research foundation in Muscatine again, but the state of Iowa refused permission, in quotes, in the interest of the public. Baker then retires to Miami, Florida.
This is the first thing that tracks.
Goes to Florida.
Him going to Florida makes total sense.
And it said, this is a quote, he retired in ostentatious comfort. He died on September 10th of 1958 of cirrhosis. At the time of his death, he was living aboard a large yacht that was once owned by railroad baron Jay Gould. That's the end of his life.
Good. I'm glad he's dead.
I'm going to go back to my hotel page.
So he owned the hotel for a while. He goes to jail for mail fraud. So what happens to the hotel next?
So real quick, I did want to go, when I go back now from my little side quest, the Norman G. Baker Hospital / Health Resort. Let's talk about the ghosts. We got to get back to the ghosts.
Where's the ghost that came from this?
A lot of people died. A lot of people died in there.
Well, yeah, because he was like, I'm going to cure your cancer. You know what that reminds me a lot of, by the way?
What?
Because the one guy you talked about earlier who had the old racist name guy, when he was like, oh, he tested on 5 people, but they all ended up dying anyway. It reminds me a lot of Elon Musk, and he wants to put chips in people's brains.
What?
And they test. Yeah, he has this biochip he wants to put in people's brains.
God, what? This is all
called
spooky ooky. This is not time for Elon Musk.
No, it's fucked sober. This is fucked. it's Neuralink, right? So he has this company called Neuralink, and they tested it on monkeys, right? And a bunch of the monkeys died.
Oh no!
Like pretty quickly.
Oh no!
And they released this report. Reporters released this report. Like, Elon, you murdered a bunch of monkeys. And his reply was, those monkeys were terminally ill. And it's like, That's the same grift. It's the same grift, Elon.
Yeah.
They were going to die anyway. It's like, well, then you don't have any good data from this.
I forgot to show you this. I found, again, New York Times.
Yeah.
Stealing your imagery to show Alex.
I don't care.
I found an original flyer for when he turned it into the hospital.
Oh, okay.
And across the top, in what I can only describe as Looney Tunes lettering, it says, "Where sick folks get well. The Baker Hospital. We cure cancer. Tumors. Without operations, radium, or x-ray. Every room has a connecting bath." And then, let's see. "We do not cut out any organ," is a little sticker. "And we treat all ailments," is another sticker. Here, have a look.
You're right. That really is. Yeah, where sick folks get well in like cursive.
And also with the word folks, like that's
folks.
all folks.
That's all, folks. And it's almost the same exact font as Warner Brothers Looney Tunes. That is hilarious. It also, though, because this is like an old-timey 1930s poster.
Yeah.
If this was like faded and tattered and hanging on a wall, terrifying.
Yeah.
That's when you're like, yo, this place is fucking haunted.
Yeah, dude.
This was not only a hospital, this was a grift hospital?
Yeah, grift hospital.
Oh.
After being an all-girls school.
Listen, okay. This hospital, we're getting up there for like every ghost trope.
Yeah.
It was from the Victorian era.
Mm-hmm, we had those.
It was Victorian era.
Mm-hmm.
Dead drunk Irish people.
Yep.
Who suffered.
Yep.
Girls' school.
Yep.
All girls' school.
All girls' school.
Now we got a grift hospital.
Yep.
That was just full of, that had an expanded morgue.
Yeah.
Okay, so who died?
Okay, so let's see. There's a lingering spirit of a nurse dressed in all white, which is often seen pushing a gurney on the 3rd floor. She's only been spotted after 11 p.m.
Okay.
Because after 11 p.m. is when Baker would have all of the deceased move through the hospitals because he didn't want the people to be awake to see the dead bodies being rolled through.
Oh.
So every night after 11, he would have them move to the morgue. And so there's this one ghost that people say they see. And some people haven't seen her, but they can hear the wheels going across the floor late at night on the 3rd floor.
Like a squeaky shopping cart?
Yeah, the squeaky shopping, rattling of the gurney rolling past them.
Wow. Okay.
Let's see what else I have here.
I'm not even going to debunk that one. I want that one to be true.
So the morgue is just like really spooky ooky haunted.
I want to stick with Victorian kids. Victorian kids I was comfortable with.
Yeah.
The off-white, the nurse in the off-white clothes pushing a gurney looking for bodies. That is holy shit. Oh my God. If that was in a movie, I'd be like, all right, dial it back. Fuck you.
A little too much.
Yeah. Okay, so the morgue.
So then in the morgue, there's still the original autopsy table and walk-in freezer.
Okay.
So I didn't really get in this in the beginning, but when you go to the hotel's main website, not booking.com or whatever you're on, they have pages and pages about how haunted it is.
Babe, it's right there. That's the morgue.
There it is. Oh my God, there's a picture of it on booking.com.
It's on booking.com. That is the
Under
morgue.
the spa.
And then the quote next one, what guests love most? Loved how they kept it authentic yet still had modern comfort.
So if you go to this hotel,
the rooftop bar was nice enough. It just says was nice enough.
Just nice enough.
Oh, fuck.
You can go on their tour. It costs like a fee, and they go on like a haunted tour at night. So when we go there, we're definitely taking the haunted tour.
Wait. When we go there?
Oh, we're definitely going there.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll book Arkansas, I guess. Are there any comedy clubs in Arkansas?
Someone let us know.
Are they just shooting galleries? I have performed in front of axe-throwing targets before.
Yeah. Okay, so there's also a laundry area located on the 3rd floor where hotel maintenance has reported multiple times that all the washers and dryers will inexplicably turn themselves on in the middle of the night. So late at night, the washers and dryers just start going off. This is again believed to be part of Dr. Baker's staff because again, they're only doing laundry at night.
Okay, but I feel like, so there's no dying cancer patient ghosts?
I didn't get there yet.
Okay. I'm just going to throw out there, Irish immigrants right off the boat, thrown onto a train did the wiring.
Yeah.
Okay? I just want to throw that out. Oh, the washer dryers turn on. How old is this building? Okay. No, it's fine. It's fine.
Also, Dr. Baker himself has been seen on the first floor stairway and in the rec room and sometimes in the basement. So he's been reported, sightings of him have been reported everywhere. And whenever he's seen by people, he's always dressed in a purple shirt and a white linen suit.
Okay.
And people that have seen him, allegedly, saying they saw this ghost of him, always say that his ghost looks incredibly confused.
He's trapped. His soul
I
is
think his soul's
his
trapped.
soul is forever
And
trapped.
He was like, I was on a yacht in Miami when I died. How the fuck did I end up in Arkansas?
You know what? You're starting to really sell me on that. I want ghosts to be real now. The fact that he died on a Miami yacht.
Yeah,
Imagine dying
on
on a railroad baron's yacht with all your wealth, having gotten away with all of it.
Ostentatious.
In Miami.
Yeah.
After you fucked your mistress on the radio.
Uh-huh.
And you're ostentatious, you're probably shitting in gold.
Yep.
And then you wake up, and for the next century, you're just walking around your old fucking grift hospital.
Yeah.
And it's just fucking shitty tourists now.
Yeah.
Who are like, I heard there's ghosts.
Oh, let me tell you, this place, I was going to get into a little bit later, but it's packed with paranormal investigators, babes.
Oh my God.
YouTubers filming videos, people with the little radio boxes walking around, the whole thing all the time. Apparently, once a year, they have a big convention. It's like a paranormal convention held there every year, hosted by the hotel itself.
Yeah.
Where hundreds and hundreds of paranormal explorers show up to go through and, look for ghosts and spirits and everything.
Yeah.
So if he is being tortured endlessly, no doubt.
I love that. I just opened up their website and it has an auto roll that runs through quickly of what you can see on this. Mm-hmm. And the disparate worlds that they're showing, the man eating an enchilada pizza, a ghost tour, old people just giggling, a woman having a wedding, but it's a spooky wedding.
Yeah.
Then there's a lady getting fucking hammered. Like, it's just, this is a weird place.
I know, Arkansas.
I love it.
Okay, so also, for a very long time, there was a switchboard that was used throughout the entire hotel,
like old, because it was
switchboard.
Yeah.
And it was utilized all the time, like not up until not that long ago, because the switchboard kept getting phone calls from the basement, and there was never anyone on the line because there's no one in the basement.
Okay.
So this started happening after he owned the hotel.
Okay.
Where they would just get these random calls on the switchboard, like the front desk would answer, and it's the basement calling again, but there's no one down there because after the hospital closed, they closed off the basement morgue. Yeah. So that's super spooky.
Why not just remove the wiring? Okay. I'm just going to throw it out there. I mean, it sounds, again, remove the wiring.
Another remnant of the old hospital days is a ghostly figure who calls herself Theodora, and she's often seen by housekeepers in room 419. Theodora is very courteous and often introduces herself as a cancer patient, but also vanishes quickly. She has also been known to be seen fumbling outside of her door like she can't get in without a key to 419. Okay. So she's always in 419, and she has said to the paranormal investigators that she was a cancer patient and died there. Okay. In the spring of 1946, the Crescent Hotel was purchased by John R. Constantine, Herbert E. Shutter, Herbert Byfeld, and Dwight Nicholas.
You mean to tell me that John Constantine bought the haunted hotel?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, all right. This is fucking... I know the writer's strike is over, but Jesus Christ, guys. All right, so John Constantine buys the hotel after the war.
Okay, so this would be a significant chapter in the history of the Crescent Hotel, as this is the moment it goes under a really transformative period of renovations. Okay. So the four guys, I looked them up, nothing interesting to be said about any of them, really. They were set, like they had a goal to restore the hotel to its former glory. And so basically, I think they just scraped off all that landlord purple and refinished all the natural wood oak and everything. Yeah. And they wanted to breathe new life in the historic establishment. And I just put a big note, removed all purple paint. One of their key strategies was to establish vacation packages in collaboration with the Frisco Railroad. So they're still collaborating with the railroad.
Gotcha.
And their big idea is they're going to do what's called an all-inclusive vacation experience.
Yeah.
And that had, I guess, not been done before.
So they invented hedonism. Come to the Crescent Hotel. Mm-hmm. Cheat on your spouse. Get fucked by a ghost.
Oh, no. So
imagine going to a key party at a haunted hotel.
Well, imagine.
That's how I could fucking say.
So the packages would be part of the train experience itself.
Yeah.
So it'd be like this luxurious train, luxurious hotel. And then it was just like a rebranding, a remarketing, and also getting rid of all of the hospital vibes.
It kind of reminds me of, remember when we were looking, because we saw the thing about in Canada, you could take the trip from Seattle.
That big train.
Yeah, you go all the way up to Banff, Canada.
Oh, I forgot what that train was called.
Yeah, it had a name for it, but it was this big, beautiful riding train. But I was like, well, how much is it?
It's so much money.
It was so much money because we had to actually, I had to go to a website and give them my address so they would mail us a catalog.
I know.
And then the catalog, it was like $20,000. It was insane for two people to ride a train from
the
I think
Rocky
Seattle.
Mountaineer. That's what it was called.
Yeah. It was cool. It looked
it's
fucking
super
cool.
because the train has like glass sides.
Yeah, the train is designed for a watching experience.
Yeah, it's like a week train ride.
It's basically, for the listeners, imagine a Viking River cruise, but it's a train.
Yep.
And you have stops, and there's places along the way, and you go all the way basically up to Canada, and you go into Canada, into these really beautiful scenic passes and all this stuff, and then you get to a hotel like this. Because remember, it was a massive
looks exactly like this, yeah.
ski chalet style place, and then they have, it's mountain stuff. But it's the same general idea.
Yeah.
And that's what you're describing.
Yeah, that's
is that.
what they're gonna. That's their branding now.
Okay.
On March 15th of 1967, the hotel was nearly burned to the ground.
Oh.
The only living owner at this point in time was Dwight Nicholas. All the other three guys died.
Okay.
It was a devastating fire attributed to faulty wiring.
What the fuck have I been saying this whole time? I've been saying it the whole time. Mm-hmm. You can't let these Irish do wiring.
Okay.
And then expect it to be working this long.
This anti-Irish sentiment is not okay.
It's not?
It's not okay.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
So
I blame the Welsh foreman. It's the Welsh foreman's fault.
All right.
For trusting all these Irish immigrants.
The fire ravaged the penthouse level and a significant portion of the fourth floor. The destructive incident prompted necessary renovations and repairs again.
Okay.
Because I think the last time, though, they were doing mostly aesthetics.
Yeah.
But because of this fire, they were like, I guess we have to redo the wiring and the plumbing. Ugh.
Yeah. Did anybody die in the fire?
So...
We got to add to the ghosts, right?
I'm about to add to the ghost.
Okay.
Okay, in 1973, 10 years later.
Okay.
Or a little bit less. 1973, the hotel records show that an orange tabby cat named Morris walked into the lobby and stayed for 21 years. The cat became such a fixture of Crescent Hotel that he was referred to as the general manager. This is a quote. This cat became the cat that not only the hotel, but also the cat of the hotel, but not also the community, a local resident recounts. During those years, no visits to the Crescent would be complete without a Morris sighting, or better yet, a chance to pet the hospitality icon. And since the Crescent was and continues to be the center for so much community activity, that cat became our cat. We loved him, and we would see him enter and exit through his specifically constructed kitty door. The portal was flanked on both interior and exterior sides by carpeted steps to allow ease of comfort for coming and going. To further prove the heartfelt sentiments of the local citizens toward this feline, when Morris died, more than 300 people attended a farewell ceremony for the cat at the hotel. His wake was followed by his internment on hotel property. And today, visitors can step outside onto the East Lawn area, and there is a headstone for Morris. Morris the cat is still seen walking through the hallways and hanging out through the lobby and meows loudly. The ghost of the cat haunts this hotel.
Yeah, but that cat was the only one with a good death, like a respectful death. Every other death you've described to me has been terrible. Mm-hmm. Terrible. The cat walked into the front door one day and they just started feeding it.
Yeah.
And 21 years later, he has a peaceful death. And then 300 people come to this cat. No one went to the dead Irishman's funeral. Mm-mm. He was buried in the floorboard somewhere.
But Morris was so nice.
Yeah, well, he's a beautiful orange cat.
Yeah.
Little orange tabby. Probably didn't have a brain cell in that head. Probably dumb
I know our orange cat's got a walnut in there.
God damn.
No nut, just shell.
Honestly, Morris probably didn't leave because he just kept seeing them ghosts. And he's like, y'all seeing this? I'm going to stay right here. This place is fucking wacky.
This little kid keeps playing ball with me.
Yeah.
Probably having the time of his life.
Fuck this kid. Cats don't like little kids.
In 1997.
Oh, my God.
Marty and Elise I can't say this last name. It's Roenigk. Roenigk. I'm going to pretend the G is silent. Roenigk. Yeah. Marty and Elise Roenigk purchased the Crescent Hotel for $1.3 million.
Overpaid.
They oversaw a 6-year restoration and renovation of the hotel rooms. Marty sadly died in a car crash, but Elise remains the current hotel's owner. So this is the point in 1997 when Elise takes over that we get a real revamp on the hotel to make it more of what we would love now.
Yeah.
This is where the spa really pops off.
Gotcha.
They've got like the Turkish hot stone spa, the whole deal in there now.
Yeah, I'm on their website because you mentioned it, and I'm looking at it. Yeah, they have the New Moon Spa.
Yep.
They have daily activities. It seems like a lot of people just play a lot of chess there.
Okay, that's
the ghost tours.
Ghost tours.
They have food. They have a sporting club, which really just looks like an axe throwing place.
Yep.
There's events, some live music. They have a pool. There's some local trails, and then there's stuff
local
to do.
Attractions. Yeah.
Yeah, there's some stuff to do around our shitty little town. And you're like, okay.
Okay.
Is that a gun?
What? Yeah, that guy's shooting. That's probably at the shooting area, the gun range.
Oh, it's a BB gun. Okay.
Okay, so she really made it very au courant, right? Like she brings it up to the 21st century.
Yeah.
New website. She like does the whole thing.
Not just first website. You said 96 they bought this thing.
Yeah.
I mean 97 or whatever. Yeah, websites were just becoming a thing.
Well, it's a great website. I'm looking at it. It's beautiful.
It is. It's crescent-hotel.com.
In 2019.
Okay.
We're fast forwarding a little.
Okay.
We're getting closer to our time here.
They had an anti-vaxxer convention.
In 2019, an accidental discovery revealed, in quotes, the mind of Norman Baker.
What?
The charlatan who ran the hotel as a fraudulent, in quotes, cancer-curing hospital in the 1930s. An archaeological excavation uncovered hundreds of bottles of Baker's, in quotes, secret formula and jars containing his medical specimens removed from patients. The eerie collection was added to the hotel's macabre ambiance. So what happens is, while they're working to extend the parking lot on the north end of the hotel, they're digging up to make this parking lot bigger.
Yeah.
A landscaper / gardener named Susan Benson, who works there, she's trying to redo some of the landscaping around where they're going to do the parking lot, and she finds some medical looking bottles, and she knows obviously the history of the place.
Yeah.
And one of them, she calls the ghost tour manager, Keith Scales, and is like, hey, is this one of Dr. Baker's bottles? And upon his arrival, Scales is like, yeah, those are definitely the type that used to appear in his advertising posters. And they found a bunch of them that had still had liquid with stuff floating in them.
Wow.
Stuff and things. And so she called the haunted guy to come say, are these what I think they are? And he's like, yeah. So then they had to call the hotel and tell them what was happening. And that led to a stop order where the University of Arkansas at Fayetteville had to come in along with the state police crime lab and a hazmat team. It took months to get this dig underway to pull out all these medical bottles.
Yeah.
What happened was the Arkansas Archaeological Survey, part of the University of Arkansas system, along with hazmat teams, slowly went through all the layers of soil and meticulously pulled out hundreds of these bottles of things. So basically what happened was, remember how I told you when we were talking about Baker, is that after he got rid of the hotel and was in prison, they got rid of all the specimen bottles. The new buyers were told that those bottles just like went to a dump, but it's not true. Norman Baker just had them dumped in the back of the building. Like he just had them dumped in a field in the back.
They didn't move the bodies. They just moved the tombstones.
Yeah.
They just moved the tombstones.
So they dug them all up.
Yeah.
And when you go on the haunted tour now, I believe that those bottles are in the morgue now.
Okay.
And so what happened, allegedly, is that once they started moving all of these things out of the ditch and brought them back into the hotel, they had even more ghost activity in the morgue than before.
What if those are Mitch McConnell's Horcruxes?
I mean, it could be.
It's possible. Okay.
It could be.
All right. So now there's more ghost activity.
There's more than ever.
Now, okay. So, I mean, part of that could be psychosomatic, though, because now more people are going to it because they have more local news articles about it. And it's reminding more people about the weirdness.
Or there's some guy who a chunk of his body was in a jar and they rustled it up and put it back in a morgue. And he's like, what the fuck?
Sure. Okay. Whatever makes your pregnant tummy happy.
Stop bringing up my pregnant tummy. It's ghosts, not my pregnancy.
Yeah, I know, but I'm not going to have this fight with you. Not on the air.
That's because
having a screaming match with a pregnant woman that's being played for thousands of people, like that's not a good look for me.
Yeah, you're gonna lose. That's for sure.
The second I turn off,
oh god, I'm taking a nap. So that's it. That's all the notes.
That's it.
That brings us to today.
Well, this actually looks like a lovely hotel.
Yeah,
I'm actually gonna say it does look like a lovely hotel.
Yeah.
I think it says creating lifetime memories.
Yep.
That's pretty cool. It's been a very long time. I've never actually done the Ozarks. So I'm interested.
Yeah.
I think it's cool. And
do you think I have a future as a travel agent? Like I said, I want to be a travel agent and bring it back.
You want to bring back travel agencies?
Yeah. Do you think I could do it now?
I think you sold me on a hotel. You sold me on Arkansas, babe.
Yeah.
Arkansas.
Yeah.
They just re-legalized child labor in Arkansas.
Well, who's going to work in the limestone mines?
Exactly. And we're going to have a kid, so, we can bring him down there. Get to work. We make him work while we relax.
Yeah, and I go on ghost tours.
Yeah, you go on ghost tours. I go to the hot spa and enjoy the OK rooftop bar.
Read me another one.
Let's see. I'll scroll down here. Let's see. The value for money. Oh, here's the categories. Staff, we got a 9.1.
That's pretty good.
Facilities, 8.2.
Pretty good.
Cleanliness, 8.3.
Like that.
Comfort, 8.3.
Nice.
Value for money, 7.4.
Ooh, that's pretty. Value for money.
But location, 9.1.
It's a great location. It's right by the Missouri state line. So.
Oh, is it? So if you need to escape Arkansas, you're right there.
Right to Missouri.
Yeah, I'm trying to see.
Because it turns out you're a quack doctor and you got to cross state lines real quick.
Yeah, it has pretty good reviews. The room was great. The bed was very comfortable, was really quiet. But pizza on 400 was a disappointment. But overall, we plan on coming back for a longer stay. Thank you so much for a wonderful stay. So I guess somebody went to Arkansas and then expected pizza to be okay?
That pizza's not going to be good enough.
I'm guessing if they buy pizza on 400, I think they must have. It seems like they have multiple restaurants throughout the venue.
Yeah, like a cruise ship.
Like a cruise ship. So you can go to the pizza place, you can go to this place over here, get a fine meal, get an outside meal, all these different things. So it looks pretty good.
But yeah, that's my first little ooky spooky story for you.
That's
the
a good
Crescent
one.
Hotel.
All right. Well,
somehow I got quacks into it, and our boy Morris Fishbine. And the goat ball guy. I didn't know. I had no idea when I picked this hotel
that you were going to be pulling all this
together.
together.
That I was going to be bringing in so much old lore.
I'll be honest. I thought when you said the Crescent Hotel, just in general about a hotel, I thought you were going to talk about that hotel where the young woman was found in the
water tank.
With the water
tank. It's
tank.
on my list of things to potentially do.
It's on the list.
That story.
That one. I've heard a lot about that one.
Yeah. Well, it's crazy.
It's a crazy one, but
there's a lot more crazy that happens there than just that one incident.
Yeah. Well, that's down. It's also down by Skid Row and everything.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Okay. Well, This was a fun episode.
Yeah, we did it. First Ookie Spooky episode.
Yeah, Fucktober is taking off.
I don't know how I feel about Fucktober.
I kind of really like Fucktober.
You kind of like Fucktober?
I'm kind of obsessed with it.
Okay. That really broadens my horizons for topics.
It really do, because, I mean, like, yeah, this is haunted and spooky, but also fucked.
Yeah.
Like, the guy was running a grift where he was convincing cancer patients. And this was after a lady did really, really good work there, trying to, like, spread nursing awareness.
Yeah.
And, like, bring actual health to people.
Yeah.
She was like, I'm going to try to build a world where we would notice your cancer early enough that we can treat it. And he instead was like, I'm going to stick you with sunflower seeds and come because I watched a horse.
Yeah, and our Delco boy, Powell Clayton, was there.
Yeah, after, like, shooting at the Klan.
Yeah.
It's had everything. There's a lot.
There was a lot in this episode, for sure.
Well, that's been our episode this week. Thank you so much to our Patreons. Thank you so much to all of our listeners, to our sponsors, and to everything else. We had a wonderful time, and I will say that this was much shorter than the meeting I had at the White House. So with that, Mrs. Pearlmania, anything else that would you like to say?
Oh, no. Thanks, everybody, for listening and being a part of our Patreon. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, we really appreciate everybody who listens, and we will see you guys next week for more of
Fucktober!
Thank you.